see Virginia and Hawaii on the U.S. side remaining among the ranks of the undefeated. South Korea and Japan have both been dominant as well. We've got a full day of elimination baseball here on ESPN and the ESPN family of networks. And hello again, everybody. Kevin Connors, delighted to be alongside Tim Kirkshin, thrilled to be bringing you the Little League World Series on ESPN. It is a consolation game, but there's no consoling needed, not for either one of these two teams, Tim, Italy and Oregon.
Right, Kevin, this isn't about winning anymore. This is about taking something home with you. Hey, I got a hit at Williamsport. Hey, I knocked in a run. Hey, I made a really good play. And then when the games are over, let's go to the Grove, ping pong, pizza, collecting pins, and meeting kids from different countries.
These two teams have soaked up every part of this experience. Oregon's lone win in the Little League World Series all-time came against Italy back in 2016. To learn more about these teams, we send it on down to our pal, Sebastian Salazar.
All right, I'm here with my guys, Avery from Team Northwest, Elia from Italy. Elia, I'm going to start with you. This has been an awesome week. What's been your favorite part of the Little League experience?
The better things of the tournament is the complex, the stadium, the fields, and signing autograph.
Signing autographs. Avery, have you gotten to sign an autograph yet?
Yeah, I've got to sign several autographs. It's really cool. And at the MLB Classic game, I got on my seat. I was surrounded by people. That's just a surreal experience that not many people get, and I'm very excited, and I was glad to get that experience.
Hey, what do you think about this field here at Lamedy Stadium?
It's insane. It's like this is probably the biggest field or best field I've ever played in my entire life. The grass is perfect. People take care of it for you, and it's just I feel amazed to be playing on this field.
Elia, what do you think of this field?
It's beautiful, bellissimo.
Bellissimo, Elia. Thank you very much, guys. Back up to you.
And if that doesn't hook you to want to stay around to watch baseball, I don't know what will. We've got Italy, Oregon, the consolation game ahead here on ESPN, and then it continues all afternoon. Curacao and Venezuela comes your way, 3 Eastern. And then tonight, the big showdown in the Northeast, New Jersey and Rhode Island. We are coming back. Tim Kirkshin, delighted to be with you. The road to Williamsport, a long one, literally and figuratively. How about more than 36,000 miles traveled for these teams to get here to Lamedy Stadium. Bologna, Italy, of course, the short trip across the pond to make it here. Population of just under 400,000, birthplace of Bologna sausage and the University of Bologna, founded way back in 1088. Let's take a look at today's team lineups, brought to you by Office Depot.
Mi chiamo Giulio Bissa e il mio atleta preferito è Cristiano Ronaldo. Ciao, mi chiamo Chris Sberlati e il mio libro preferito è Harry Potter.
Mi chiamo Claudio Di Ronza, il mio gruppo preferito è gli AC/DC.
Mi chiamo Leonardo Del Frate e il mio team di baseball preferito sono i Boston Red Sox.
Ciao, mi chiamo Gabriele Cirinà e la mia materia preferita è matematica.
Ciao, sono Alessio Ingrite e il mio giocatore preferito di baseball è Aaron Judge.
Il mio nome è Davide Lugli e il mio attore preferito è Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ciao, sono Manuel Metelli e il mio emoji preferito è la faccia con i cuori.
Mi chiamo Elia Di Carlo e la mia emoji preferita è la faccia sorridente.
Ciao, mi chiamo Giovanni Gregorini e la mia squadra preferita sono i Chicago Cubs.
Mi chiamo Federico Tamburini e il mio emoji preferito è la faccia con i dollari.
Mi chiamo Alex Giovanardi, il mio cibo preferito è il sushi.
Mi chiamo Tommaso Metalli Gridetti e la mia app preferita è YouTube.
Mi chiamo Elia Zaccarini e il mio cibo preferito è la lasagna.
If only we could bring out the personality of these kids, right? I mean, how good is it? How much fun has it been to soak up the enjoyment level that all of these kids have had, Tim?
They can all dance. They all have great hair. It's tremendous. I wish I was 12 again.
On the mound, Gavin Price getting the start today for Team Oregon. An Oregon team that has hung in here. They're in the consolation bracket, but they played Louisiana very well the other night. A tight matchup that they came up on the short end. Favorite movie, Uncle Drew. Expressing the interest in other sports here that so many kids have. And that's a common theme that we'll hit on throughout the course of this broadcast, and we have talked about it so much, the importance of playing other sports. But today here in Lamedy Stadium on a picture postcard perfect day, we're playing baseball.
Play.
Giovanni Gregorini set to lead things off for Italy, and he's swinging on the first pitch.
And again, Kevin, we're going to make the point right away. These kids at Williamsport swing the bat. They go to the plate thinking, I'm swinging first and taking second, as opposed to the other way around, and that is such a healthy way to go about things at this age.
Strike.
Giovanni loves the sport of baseball, obviously. Favorite player, Javier Baez. Favorite team, the Chicago Cubs. That's been a consistent theme throughout this week.
Oh, Javi Baez, most popular major league player of these kids, and it's not really close.
And a swing and a miss, and a good start to this one for Gavin Price on the mound. Italy is yet to score in its 2 games in Williamsport, just 5 hits. But they're hoping that the bats can wake up today. Oregon, 10 hits, 4 runs in 2 games here so far. Federico Tamburini steps into the box.
Ball.
Lefty hitter. One of the things he told us, I never lose, I win or I learn. And is that what this tournament is all about?
That is really great. And that's what these kids are here to do, Kevin. They're here to learn what this is all about, not just about baseball, about other cultures and everything else.
And that's kind of been a consistent theme for this Italian team. And there's a fly ball to right field. Sullivan Puckett watches Henry Moon go back on it, and it drops in there, and we'll see how they score that one. I think that might be a hit.
That's a hit. When in doubt, Kevin, at the Little League World Series, we're going to give them a hit. It only makes sense.
Let's do the benefit of the doubt on that one. First hit of the Little League World Series, and you're darn right it is. Tamburini drops one in there to right field. And so it brings up Alex Giovanardi. He's the starting pitcher for Italy. Ball gets away from the catcher, Riley Wilson, and Tamburini advances to second. So a runner in scoring position. We'll see if Italy can break the ice here for the first time this tournament.
Alex's nickname is Animal because of his raw power,
which we hope is on display here. 5'6", 134 pounds. Another one of the things that I love is the grasp on history of baseball that these kids have. Favorite movie, 42. Favorite book, 42. Obviously, learning about the significance of Jackie Robinson and the impact that he had on this game that Alex is now playing.
Right, and we have a kid in the game whose favorite player is Babe Ruth. How about that?
How good is that?
Strike 3. Out.
Bending one in there is Gavin Price, and his second strikeout of the inning. Well, we talked about it. Favorite major league player, Javi Baez, by a large margin over Mike Trout. Does that surprise you at all?
A little bit, but with the personality and the style, the flair with which he plays, I'm not surprised. I am surprised Derek Jeter's still getting 10 votes.
I'm assuming not from Marlins fans. There you go, grounder to first. Carson McNally steps on the bag, and the threat for Italy is over. When we come back, Oregon takes its cuts for the first time in Williamsport. Back at the Little League World Series, Italy and Oregon. Oregon making it out of the Northwest region, surviving that bracket, advancing here to Williamsport, navigating a tough way through. Salem, Oregon, 45 miles south of Portland. A lot of Blazers fans on this team. Capital city of Oregon. And we take a look at today's team lineups brought to you by Office Depot.
My name is Riley Wilson, and my favorite actor is Will Ferrell.
My name is Thomas Van Bischler, and my favorite food is salmon. My name is Henry Moon, and my favorite food is French fries.
My name is Cameron Van Kippen, and my favorite subject at school is art.
My name is Sullivan Puckett, and my favorite app is Instagram.
My name is Andrew Moon, and my favorite food is cheeseburgers.
My name is Jacob Hoda, and my favorite app is ESPN.
My name is Spencer Shortis, and my favorite emoji is the fish emoji.
My name is Avery Lorman, and my favorite emoji is the ghost.
My name is Aiden Sale, and my favorite food is tacos.
My name is Carson McNally, and my favorite food is watermelon.
My name is Gavin Price, and my favorite game is Minecraft.
My name is Brady Stranke, and my favorite emoji is a crying, laughing emoji.
Tim, you have a favorite emoji?
It wasn't until last year when the kids were in the booth that I even learned how to use an emoji. So no, I don't have one, but at least I know where they are on my phone. Right. And it took a 12-year-old to tell me.
Well, that could often be the case here. We see Alex Giovanardi on the mound, as Tim pointed out. In the top half of the first inning, they call him Animal. We'll see how much of an animal he is on the mound against this Oregon lineup today, led off by Riley Wilson, big Dansby Swanson fan. Favorite team, the Atlanta Braves.
And a basketball player and a golfer, shoots 85. He's not getting any shots from me. I don't care what he says.
You're right about that. 4'9", digging in there against the Animal on the mound. And a fastball right down Broadway. And you watch these games on TV, or you come to the park and see it in person, and you appreciate, Tim, we talked about this, the skill level, the speed of the pitchers, the ability of the infielders and outfielders to field their position and swing the bat. Grounder to short, Tamburini makes the play.
It's exactly what you're talking about there. That's what has struck me every year I'm here, how skillful, especially our middle infielders are. That kid's made that play 1,000 times, and he's going to make it 1,000 more. It was beautiful.
Brings up Henry Moon, one of the Moon brothers, twins on this team. They call him H. Big Will Ferrell fan, as you heard about in the open, and a big Ronald Acuna Jr. fan, as I suspect more and more young players will be.
And his dad is one of the coaches, which is great.
Rocket up the middle, and that's a base hit off the bat of Henry Moon. First hit of the Little League World Series for 12-year-old Henry Moon.
And again, Kevin, this is what you take home with you. I got a knock at Williamsport. No one's going to take that away, and it's a thrill.
So here is his brother Andrew Moon stepping in. Andrew was one of the stars in the near miss against Louisiana on Saturday. He accounted for both of his team's runs, 2 of 4 hits. And they're counting on him here today, maybe to drive in his brother right now.
And also the star of the school plays. Midsummer Night Dream, which is like playing a night game here at Williamsport.
You're darn right it is. He also starred in Willy Wonka and Tarzan. He was Willy Wonka in the play, so you know he's got the chops, right?
Absolutely.
Making you the lead. We've learned over the course of this week and a half the Renaissance young men that these kids are, right?
Right, we got some De Niro fans here, Led Zeppelin fans.
Inside.
Kids are so much more worldly than we were growing up. We didn't know anything. These kids know so much about how the world operates.
It's amazing. And yet they soak in the experience like kids should. It's the real charm of this tournament. There's a shot to right field. The Moon brothers have a rally going here for Oregon. Back-to-back singles, and they'll take the extra base on the overthrow.
And a great move by Henry Moon. He's got his eyes up. He's alert on the bases. He sees nobody is attending third base there. I can move up. And of course, he tries to run home there, but time had been called, so he'll go back to third. But we've got the Moon brothers on base after getting consecutive hits, and both ran the bases beautifully there.
Team high third hit of the Little League World Series for Andrew Moon, and it sets up a golden opportunity for Gavin Price.
Out. Play.
First pitch gets away from Metelli. Here comes Moon trying to score, and he's in there safely.
Again, another alert base running play by Henry Moon. He reads the play. He knows that ball's not going to come flying back off the backstop. I can beat this throw, and he does.
Slides in there safely on the wild pitch, and Oregon is on the board. Great job by Giovanardi covering the plate, but not quick enough, and Oregon breaks the ice here, a 1-0 lead. That one really high, but off the carom, not high enough for Moon to make it home. I love what Price had to say in the pre-tournament interviews He was asked, why do you play Little League? He says, because I can't hit dingers in basketball. Special talents making baseballs disappear over the fence. He's up there swinging. He's got an opportunity to help Oregon get in front. Let's take a listen into the huddle here on the mound.
See how good your Italian is here, Kevin.
Adesso io vengo qua a toccare, non c'è ossigenazione al cervello. Ehi, devi respirare piano e basta.
Quello lì a casa era out.
Non era out neanche per niente. Ok? Se non ti svegli, la gente qua corre. Quindi se noi ti chiamiamo 2 e tu tiri una sassata contro, non siamo d'accordo. Va bene? Ok, guys? Griso!
Our producer, Gus, knows Italian. He just got in our ear to tell us what that was. He did the same thing with Spanish yesterday.
Yeah, Gus is so talented. I mean, he's a man of many languages, many interests. He was saying that essentially the conversation was calm yourself down. You got to get into this game. Swing and a miss. How's that for getting into the game, huh? But again, Tim, it's one of the joys of this tournament is that you're watching boys grow up here. Not only on the mound, but emotionally as well.
Right, and it's not all about winning. It's about losing. It's about getting rocked in a game and trying to figure out how you're going to handle that, come back from that. It's a really hard game to play, Kevin. There's a lot of failure here, and dealing with that is really important.
Strike three on the outside corner. So how about bouncing back and getting into the game? Alex Giovanardi, the strikeout.
And we'll see here, Kevin, obviously, the strike zone in Little League Baseball is a lot bigger than it is in the big leagues, and I'm okay with that because you know what it does? It makes these kids say, if it's close, I'm swinging, and that's what we need to get from kids at this age. Swing first, take second.
Swing and a miss by Carson McNally. Baseball Tonight Sunday. Yourself, Mark Teixeira, Carl Ravitch had a fascinating conversation with Commissioner Rob Manfred, and I was struck, among other things, when Rob Manfred talked about the electronic strike zone, right, and the willingness of Major League Baseball potentially to want to implement that, Tim.
Oh, Kevin, it's coming, believe me, sooner rather than later. And that's not to say I'm in favor of that, but it's coming.
Call.
As Rob said, we have the technology for it, so why not use it? It's going to have to get all sorts of people to agree on this. Not going to be easy.
Never is, but we'll see how that goes. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and what a way.
Caught it. He's out. No, he's out.
Umpire's calling him out.
He is calling him out, so this.
Tag out.
Oregon and Bologna, Italy having at it today in Williamsport. Bologna, the capital and largest city in the Emilia-Romagna region of northern Italy. A humid subtropical climate. It's renowned for its culinary tradition. It has baptized the famous Bologna sauce, a meat-based pasta sauce in Italy that is called ragu. Kevin Connors, Tim Kirkshin, it made us ask the question, Tim. Another list.
Yeah, I told you I have a list for everything, unfortunately. So rigatoni with meat sauce, meatballs are fine. Lasagna too, chicken marsala. I can actually make that now. Chicken parm standard. Eggplant parmesan. I do all the cooking at home. I'm terrible. We pray after we eat at my house, but that's not to worry about.
I had no idea you were so skillful in the kitchen.
No, I stink, really. But I've really tried on chicken marsala. I stole a recipe from a local restaurant, and now, after about 30 tries at it, I can really make it well.
And chicken parm, I mean, I'm surprised it's as low as it is on the Kirkshin list.
It's just too good. I mean, and lasagna, how do you top? But rigatoni with meat sauce, oh, so good.
Ball.
Right, you got to get down there and talk to the Italian team and say, hey, any tips for me in the kitchen, Tim?
Bunch of these kids cook, which is great.
Right.
Strike three. Out.
Strike three. Gavin Price gets Elia DiCarlo on strikes to start the inning. Sunshine, smiles, and Little League baseball. Kind of how it should be in the summer.
And how about you, Kevin? You've never covered a game here at Lomedy. What do you think?
It's off the charts. I was in Volunteer Stadium yesterday. It was spectacular, but this place is the Shangri-La. I mean, it is as good as advertised, and we talked about this yesterday. I had not spoken with anyone who had been to this event who didn't say it's the best thing you'll do all year, and they're right.
It's the best event I've covered.
Hard ground ball to short, and a nice play by Andrew Moon.
Andrew Moon set his feet on that. He did a beautiful job getting those shoulders square, took his time, and threw a dart to first base. Kevin, before you leave here, you have to go down the hill, okay? I don't care how tall you are. Find a giant piece of cardboard, and let's go. Even I went down there as a 60-year-old and made it in one piece.
I'm going to do it at some point. There's no question about it. We have a special guest who is doing it today, as I understand.
Well, we'll tease everyone on that one, but this will be a treat to see that.
Someone who has enjoyed success in this complex in the past, a phenomenon, and a recent phenomenon as well, as we see Manuel Metelli step into the box.
Sylvester Stallone, his favorite actor, so he is the Italian Stallion today. He has to be, right?
You're darn right he is.
And favorite song, Gonna Fly Now. What else?
What else? Off the soundtrack. Strike three. What an inning for Gavin Price. What a start to this one in Williamsport. Tim Kirkshin talked about it. Sliding down the hill at Lomedy. It's one of the great traditions here. And how about Monet Davis doing it earlier?
She had never been down the hill. She owned this place for one summer, and that's the first time she's ever been down the hill, going in an ESPN cardboard.
As it should be,
It's
right?
a vehicle. Look at it.
It's really how far we've come with things. And, of course, you know the story of Monet Davis. She played for the team in the Philadelphia area, first female African-American to play in the Little League World Series, had been the most recent girl to pitch here in the Little League World Series until
Maddie Frecking.
That's right.
Who pitched the other day for the Minnesota team.
She appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated. She was a phenomenon back in 2014. Really captivated baseball fans and sports fans alike. I can remember anchoring SportsCenter in those days, and she was the star of the show. She was the lead. She was a superstar.
She was tremendous, and what a throwing arm on her.
Right.
Cameron Van Kempen steps in. Cam Fam, as he's known, and he's up there swing and a miss. It gets away from the catcher Metelli. And Van Kempen is in safely at first.
So I'm sure that'll be a wild pitch, pass ball. So it'll be strikeout, wild pitch / pass ball, whatever they call here.
It is, in fact, a pass ball. You see Giovanardi cocking back and delivering a fastball right there, but another base runner for Oregon. And an opportunity here for Spencer Shortus.
Strike.
From the Northwest, he wants to be a professional bass fisherman. How about that?
That is good stuff. Biggest fish he's caught so far
is
a 5-pound, 15-ounce bass. He says his favorite pro is Jacob Wheeler, who I know you're a big fan of, right?
Have you ever caught a fish before?
I've only eaten fish. I've never come near touching fish.
I have caught a fish. I baited a hook before. How about that?
You are a bigger man than I am, Tim Kirkshin. Grounder to first. The play is made at first by Gabriel Chirina.
Let's get it out here, okay? That would have been a tricky throw to second. He thought about it. That's the play, but let's get one out here and move on.
And that play right there, to me, Tim, sort of illustrates where Italy is, right? I mean, this is a nation that, let's be honest, baseball is not as national sport. This team does not have the experience necessarily of some of the other teams who were involved in this tournament, and they're open about it. They're learning the game.
Right, and they should be. And they can learn by watching the games they play in, watching other games, and they'll go home saying, yeah, that's how you do that, and they'll get better at it.
And these kids, 20 years from now, will be the kids who help really introduce the sport of baseball and continue its growth. Up the middle. Nice play by the shortstop, Federico Tamburini, to get the play at first.
Again, beautiful to his left. It was a tricky final hop there. And once he got it, he squared up and made a perfect throw to first. Again, Kevin, I've said it 100 times in the last 5 years. The skillful play, especially of the middle infielders in the Little League World Series, is breathtaking to watch.
I mean, that is how it is done. And the great pictures here from Lamini Stadium on this gorgeous day for baseball. We're so excited to bring this event to you on an annual basis. Barely a cloud in the sky here in Williamsport.
And this is Avery Lorman, our Robert De Niro fan. Meet the parents. It's Greg. Greg's afraid of the ball.
I mean, we were talking about that before the broadcast today. He's a big De Niro fan. Oh, you mean from
Meet the Parents?
Goodfellas, right? No. Oh, from Meet the Parents. Is that the legacy of Robert De Niro? Adnan Verk would be crushed if that was the case. Avery Lorman grounds out to Giovanardi, and the inning is over. Oregon, a 1-0 lead after 2. Baseball, and you don't enjoy that, I can't help you out. The Major League Little League Classic was as good as advertised. You got big-time Little Leaguers and big leaguers mixing, and it was a total home run.
Anthony Rizzo got on the bus with those kids, and they're all singing fight songs, and he gets up and sings center field for all the kids. Then, of course, as soon as he gets here, he goes down the hill, because he told me, there's no way I'm going to Williamsport and not going down that hill. And then when his teammates saw him did it, they all said, we're going down the hill too. The Cubs really bought into the whole experience.
I mean, really, that is the spirit of this place, right? You know, you get caught up in it all because most of us have played Little League Baseball at some point and dreamed of coming here, and that includes the guys, Tim, who play in big league parks.
Right, and the Pirates had a blast also. I told you yesterday, Chris Archer told me that one of the kids on the bus said, aren't you the guy that gives up all the home runs? Yes, that's me.
Yeah, you've seen me, huh? Well, you know what? Diplomacy is not necessarily something that is here yet, despite all the skill and maturity that these kids show. But that's great, and you know, the whole experience there. Look, this is normally a chance if you're a kid, you see this guy on TV, or you play him in a video game, or maybe you get to go to the park and you see him from a distance. These kids were up close and touching these stars, and that's what made this whole thing so great.
Well, here's a hit batter here, and a point needs to be made. These kids are tough. They stand right on top of the plate. They do not bail. They do not flinch. They step right towards the pitcher, and they are not going to budge. And when they get hit like this, instead of weeping and going out of the game, they say, look, I'm a baseball player. I'm staying in because this is going to hurt. It always does when you get hit, but he's staying in the game.
Gabriel Chiarina, one of the handful of 10-year-olds. Look at that one. Gavin Price comes inside. And that hit sounded like it may have hit the bat, but the umpire, home plate umpire Dean Harris, is saying that hit the helmet. Let's take another look. That did hit the top of the helmet of Giulio Bisa.
He's 4'7". He weighs 83 pounds. He just got hit in the head. And he's running to first without fear.
And I'm not sure that Oregon isn't going to challenge this and say, wait a minute. And from our broadcast position, the sound of it, it did sound like it hit the bat, but we see on replay there, that hit squarely off the top of the helmet. Let's take a listen.
Time! Hit his helmet, first base. Stays there, get the helmet.
Yeah, you can. There you go. If you need proof, there it is, right there on the top of the helmet of Giulio Bisa.
Kevin, when you square to bunt like that, you are in a vulnerable position. It is much more difficult to get out of the way when you're squared up looking at the pitcher as opposed to your normal stance.
Guys, we just saw Giulio Bisa take one off the helmet. We're here with his dad. What did you think?
I think they can hit the ball harder and make a basic with the helmet, maybe.
Right, you look like a header there, like in soccer, yeah?
Yeah, we try it.
I know you played for the Italian national baseball team, the younger divisions. You're seeing your son here representing Italy. That's got to be special.
Yes, it's got. I think it is more difficult to stay here than playing it because you know the thriller is very, very hard. But proud of it.
What are your emotions? How do you feel right now?
I wish they can do better than they did the last games. I think they can play harder. They only have to change the attitude and to try to believe in themselves. They have to believe in themselves because I think they can do much better, very much better.
Great, thank you very much. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Sebastian, thanks so much. We just saw Davide Lugli get on the error by Spencer Shortus. And so here we are, Tim.
They haven't scored yet, Italy. This is their chance to score their first run in Williamsport, and that'll be a thrill, not just for whoever drives it in, but for the team itself.
Federico Tamburini stepping in, the 11-year-old, 4'10", 94 pounds. Big Carlos Santana fan, big fan of the Cleveland Indians.
1-1. Play.
He's got a chance to put Italy on the board for the first time in this tournament.
Kevin, back to the point, though, about these kids are fearless. And fear is a real issue for your average 12-year-old kid. You get hit by a pitch a few times, you don't have any interest in getting back in there. These kids get hit, they dig in, they move a little closer to the plate and say, you're not going to intimidate me.
Right, imagine a 4'10" kid looking out on the mound at Big Gavin Price, who is bringing the gas. You've just seen your two buddies in front of you get hit by a pitch, and here you are standing in and trying to deliver a run.
I don't have to imagine. 4'10", that was me in the 10th grade, and I'm not exaggerating.
I grooved that one, didn't I? Swing and a miss by Tamburini. All right, here's the starting pitcher for Italy, Alex Giovanardi, trying to help his own cause and get Italy on the board. There's a shot, right field.
And I have a play at the plate.
Sullivan Puckett the catch. There will be a throw, but it's not in time. Run comes in to score. It's the special runner, Christian Zerlatti, and Italy is on the board here in Williamsport.
Christian scored his first run for this team in the Little League World Series, and that is so special. And Kevin, that's what it's all about, something to take home with you.
And if you're not watching and smiling and seeing the joy on the faces of these kids, it's a consolation game. Italy knows it's going home after this one. But they're playing in Lombardy Stadium, which, by the way, that too, Tim, is a really big deal to these teams.
Of course it is. This is their goal is always to play a game in Lombardy, because most of the the international games are played at Volunteer, but you get to play a game here that is even better than Volunteer, as great as that is.
Shot to third, but a nice looking play by Spencer Shortus. And the inning is over, but the emotion running high inside the Italy dugout. They're on the board in Williamsport. We're tied at 1. ESPN presented by T-Mobile. Lombardy Stadium in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And a 1-1 game, bottom of the third inning. Bologna, Italy versus Salem, Oregon in a consolation game. Just the start of things here today in this great complex.
Kevin, Ilya Zaccarini made the final out, that line drive to third. I've been watching him in infield and throw in between innings. Please let him cut one loose from center field, because that kid has a cannon.
Riley Wilson lays down the bunt. No one covering at first, and so a heads-up play and good speed by Wilson to get on base.
And Kevin, this is exactly what you're talking about for kids who aren't used to playing all the time. That play, someone has to cover first there. And if your first baseman's going to charge, second baseman has to come over. First base unattended there.
You said something there that I know is big for you. You said for kids who don't play all the time, and you're okay with that.
I'm for kids playing everything. I want them to put the bat and ball down in November and go make the basketball team. Basketball will make you a better baseball player. Play soccer somewhere. Your footwork in that sport will make you better here, and baseball will make you better in all the other sports. We are making kids today specialize when they're 10 years old, and that is a big mistake. The common denominator of every great major leaguer I've ever met, multi-sport star in high school, all of them.
Wild pitch allows Riley Wilson to move to second, and we've got another mound meeting here for the Italian team. We'll take another listen in.
Allora, l'abbiamo provato e riprovato e tu non eri nel posto giusto. È già la terza volta in questa partita che non sei nel posto giusto. Ok? Un catcher deve fermare le palle. Tu non sei un interbase, devi fermare le palle. Ok? Giochiamo a baseball, se no facciamo brutta figura oltre a perdere. Giochiamo a baseball. Andiamo.
That was a firm meeting right there, and that's okay too. It's all right to tell the kids, we can do better than this. Let's go.
The rough translation was, let's get down to playing baseball. We can do better. Let's go. I don't even know if you needed a translator there. You got the general idea. As you've said before, Tim, it might sound trite, but he's speaking the language of baseball.
Right, and everyone understands that.
Here's Henry Moon. He singled in his first at bat. Inside, and he works a walk. A look at Team Venezuela making its way to the park. They'll face Curacao, 3 Eastern, Tim, on ESPN.
How about the comeback by Venezuela yesterday? Mexico had them, and they said, not today.
That too, just the teams arriving here is great. And we were on the set of Baseball Tonight last night, and we followed the game in which Louisiana won, and we got to see Louisiana leave the stadium. They left in a van. I told you before the game, it was like the Beatles leaving the arena after a concert. I mean, this was big time. That one's through the legs of Bisa. Here comes Riley Wilson, and he'll score to give Oregon a 2-1 lead.
That ball was hit sharply. He backed up a little bit on it. The ball played him instead of him playing the ball. It got through him, and now Oregon's in business.
RBI single for Andrew Moon. He advances to second on the throw. Runners on second and third, and nobody out here in the top of the third inning.
And this is a hard hit ball, Kevin. We can't forget. These bases are only 60 feet apart. These kids are swinging an aluminum bat. The ball gets to you real quickly.
We've got a defensive replacement in the game. Leonardo Del Frate taking over at second base. Looks like we've got a young man getting ready to warm up. David Lugli. Giovanardi's run into some trouble here in the third inning. You got the players who've got to go on down behind the wall in left field. The bullpen's here inside Lombardi Stadium in a different spot than they are in Volunteer. So the players, I mean, again, it speaks to the innocence of this experience, just kind of learning where everything is right now.
And isn't it great that the bullpen is not on the playing field?
Yes. We've got a pitching change here. Tommaso Metelli set to pitch for Team Italy. 2-1 game, and we're coming right back.
Welcome back to the 2019 Little League World Series. Team from Italy trailing the team from the Northwest 2-1. Kevin Connors, Tim Kirkchin, Sebastian Salazar on the call. Your checking out the Italian dugout. This Italian team led by Francesco Lamanuzzi, a character that we've come to know and love here at the Little League World Series. Very interesting story how he got involved coaching this Italian team. He actually began his journey with baseball as a 16-year-old, had never picked up a glove before. A kid at school had one, gave it to him, and he played for a couple years. But as he told me, he said, I'm not built for baseball. So by the time he turned 18, he said, I'm done playing it, but I want to coach. So he learned about the game through VHS tapes, eventually YouTube. He's been coaching baseball, but also kind of a baseball evangelist in Italy for like 42 years. So what a prize, this trip for 4 decades of great work.
There's no question about it, Sebastian, and the responsibility that these coaches take on, not only teaching the game, and there is a rocket to left field off the bat of Gavin Price. 1 run is in, and there goes Price headed to second. He takes second. The responsibility that these coaches take on, not only in teaching these kids the game of baseball, but helping them mature as young boys, it is fantastic. And all of the coaches here who volunteer really deserve all of the praise we can heap on them.
Right, I love these coaches. I especially love the coach from Japan. 2 days ago, I watched him take infield. Oh my goodness, he's a magician with a fungo bat. Can hit a pop-up to the shortstop, can hit a foul pop-up to the catcher. Really impressive, but they were all good here, all these coaches.
Here's Thomas Van Bischler pinch hitting for Salem, Oregon. Pinch hitting for Carson McNally. Big Tom Glavine fan. Tim Tommy's baseball superstition: Taco Bell before the game.
Before every game. And he wants to be a marine biologist. George Costanza. The great beast appeared before me. It was 10 stories tall, I swear.
One of several boys here this week who have expressed an interest in marine biology. It's been really neat to see.
3-on-1.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Gus is feeding extra lines.
It's so good.
Sorry.
Inside to Van Bischler, who works a walk. And by the way, I'm not so sure that Taco Bell is necessarily on the Tom Brady TB12 diet, but it works for Tommy. Here's Jacob Hoda coming up to pinch hit. And of course, this part of the rules of Little League Baseball, that everyone gets to play at least some portion of the game. Hojo, as he's known, digging in here with the bases loaded and nobody out.
And Jacob, of course, is the one who wants to be an ESPN broadcaster. So figure I make one more mistake, he's going to come up and do color for the rest of the game.
He's coming for your job. Yeah, the enthusiasm, the personalities on these kids, it's been infectious. Both boys and girls in this tournament here. Been so fun to watch. The experience of a lifetime for these kids, and they are making the most of it.
Kevin, this is where the game is now and how much it's progressed. That's a 1-0 breaking ball he threw there for a strike. Kids weren't doing that 10 years ago.
Foul ball.
Another off-speed pitch, and it's fouled off.
Pitcher.
Hoda talked about how special it is to have his dad as one of the coaches on this team in this run. He said he's taught him a lot. His dad's been a coach for a while, but they've never gotten this far before. And again here, the experience of a lifetime.
You went strike 3.
Went around, swing and a miss. Here comes the runner trying to score.
He's safe.
And he's in there safely. So the strikeout, but the run comes in to score, and Oregon adds to its lead. It's now 4-1. Well, looking for training videos for coaches and umpires. Get free backyard tips, practice plans, drills, videos, and more. Visit littleleagueuniversity.org today. You heard Sebastian talking about the Italian coaching staff. They did whatever they could to get their hands VHS tapes back in the days to learn the sport of baseball.
Well, this is the best learning experience right here, actually playing the game.
Time. First base.
Inside on Spencer Shortis. In fact, it hit him. So another hits batsman. And Oregon again has loaded the bases. Here's Brady Strenke. Another pinch hitter here.
They take care of all the paperwork.
For the Sprague Little League team from Salem, Oregon.
And speaking of Italian cooking, he's a really good cook. Breaded pork chops is his favorite.
There's a shot to short. Tamburini, the flip to second in time. Throw to first is in time. A 6-4-3 double play.
That is beautiful. Those kids are going to go home and said, we turned 2 at...
Was that, and you can see Jerdrick Profar, the younger brother of Jurickson, in action later today, 3 Eastern on ESPN. And then tonight, you can see the big bro who's making big money.
Right. And a couple of the big leaguers saw Jerdrick the other day and said, you have to be Profar's brother. You look exactly like him. So that was a big thrill for him.
That's awesome. Big day for the Profar family on ESPN. 4-1 Oregon leads Bologna, Italy.
I love the bios on these kids, obviously. Ilya wants to be a lawyer and make big bucks.
Ball.
You okay with that?
A smart kid then.
Yeah, there we go. Don't become a sports writer.
Well, again, the pearls of wisdom that they give us, too, something you'd like to share with us. He says, today's successes do not win the matches of tomorrow. Wow. We got shit. Maybe he could be a sports writer. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Look at Gavin Price cock back and deliver the heat.
That pitch is up in the strike zone, and as we know, especially when you're a littler kid, up in the strike zone at high velocity is difficult to deal with.
Here's Alessio Ingreto stepping in. Ball. I wanted to ask you, Tim, we just got to see Jurickson Profar, and there have been so many really good players who've come through here to go on to success in Major League Baseball. How about the best Major League Baseball players who have played here in Williamsport at the Little League World Series?
Well, Profar certainly one of them. Jason Varitek was here. Lloyd McClendon dominated when he was here. Todd Frazier won it all while he was here. Sean Burrows was here. Scott Kingery was here. Scott Kingery told me he was the tiniest kid on the field. He never even got a hit at Williamsport, and he ends up going to the big leagues. So there's hope. You grow, you get bigger, you get better. We've got Michael Conforto, of course. Jonathan Scope, who was with Curacao. Cody Bellinger might be the best of all of them potentially as we go along here. A lot of really good players here. Carney Lansford, Gary Sheffield played. He had some serious bat speed as a 12-year-old and still had it at 40.
Right, and you know, the memory that stands out to me when I think about the Little League World Series and some of the big moments that I remember from my youth was from a guy who went on to play pro sports, just wasn't in baseball. Chris Drury, the former NHL star who led Trumbull, Connecticut all the way to a Little League World Series championship. I can remember watching Drury on the mound and thinking, whoa, this guy's good.
Right, 30th anniversary of Chris Drury winning. And again, he'll be the first to tell you, I'm a better hockey player because I played baseball, and vice versa.
How can it not, right? I mean, how can it not help you in other sports?
Wayne Gretzky, we had him on a tape thing the other day. It's exactly what he said. I became a great hockey player because I played all the other sports. Cannot stress that too much.
Here we go, 2-2. Play.
A shot to right field and a base hit off the bat of Alessio Ingreto.
There we go. Little kid faces a kid twice his size and hits a bullet to right field here. Middle of the plate, instead of trying to pull it or anything else, he goes where it's pitched. I got a hit at Williamsport.
First hit of the Little League World Series for Alessio Ingreto, and he's on first now. We've got a pinch hitter here, Christian Zerlatti, who scored the first and only run so far for this Italian team here in Williamsport.
And this is the guy whose favorite player is Babe Ruth, which is so cool.
Well, now let's meet the players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Zerlatti, you talked about it, big Babe Ruth fan. Fortnite, but what kid doesn't love playing Fortnite?
Il parle français. Note, I can speak French terribly.
Is that on Tim's Meet the Players bio?
I was just translating.
Gotcha.
Gus isn't available for French. Biggest mistake of my career, Kevin. I took French instead of Spanish. 33% of the players speak Spanish. And now that Rael Cormier's retired, I don't even want to talk to him.
Right. If one day baseball returns to Montreal, Kirkshin's on the beat. Swing and a miss, and Gavin Price another strikeout. All right, so we talked about the best players for Major League Baseball who have played in this event. Give us your best Little League story from a guy who went on to play in the majors.
Well, Andrew McCutchen was 13 years old, so just a year older than this, and he started working with Matt Diaz, who was a Double-A player at the time, getting hitting tips from Matt Diaz in Florida. And after 3 lessons, Matt Diaz told Andrew McCutchen, age 13, listen, I can't help you anymore. You're a better hitter than I am. 13 years old. Andrew McCutchen won a county batting title in high school when he was in the 8th grade. Wow. That's how advanced he was. And Tony Clark, who runs the Players Association, became a switch hitter because at this age he was too big and too good for everyone he played with. So they said, you have to hit left-handed. And that's how he became a switch hitter.
And a pretty darn good one at that. Oregon, out of the inning, a 4-1 lead. The best nicknames here this week as well. Rooster. Why Rooster, Tim?
Oh, because he woke up so early in the morning, like when he was 4 and 5, he woke everyone up.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is. And I can relate with my 4.5-year-old at home, who beats us up every morning. Swing and a miss. Aiden Sale, the pinch hitter in this spot, is a hot dog, a sandwich. That reminds me of, have we batted around here? The question you ask on an
Every game I do, yes. If you bat 10 guys in the inning, you've batted around. If you bat 9, you have it. That's the way I look at it. There's no right or wrong answer. It's open to interpretation. That's how I read it.
Has John Thorne or George Will weighed in on this? Here's a grounder to third. Lugley can't make the play.
I have not asked George Will, but I have lunch with him a few times every year, and I will ask him the next time.
Here's Riley Wilson stepping in. Tommaso Metelli Grizzetti on the mound for Italy, who trails 4-1 in this game. Bottom of the 4th inning. Wilson started the rally in the 3rd inning, part of a 3-run inning that opened up this lead. Pulled foul.
So Kevin, we hit the netting here. This is my favorite part about this ballpark, and there are a million great things. Nobody's going to get hurt in this ballpark because there is netting that runs from one foul pole to the next. So no grandma or grandpa or any little kid is going to get hit at the Little League World Series with a baseball. Watch out.
Look at that play. Federico Tamburini going back on it to make a sterling grab.
That little shortstop can really play. That is a difficult play over your shoulder. You got a left fielder charging at you. You got the sun in your eyes, and he never slows down. I got this one. Beautiful play.
Really good stuff. And the folks here inside Lamadi Stadium recognizing the play of Federico Tamburini.
We will do that on Web Gems tonight, on Baseball Tonight. You and I
love it. Well, you talked about the netting here, right? And it's become an issue. And man, look at the smile there by Tamburini. Yeah, it'll be on Web Gems tonight, on Baseball Tonight. Here's my question. What's the downside of it, right?
Yeah, beautiful play by Tamburini. Just a perfect feed to second, just not enough time for two. Look, we sit in the press box. We don't have netting in front of us, and people say, hey, I don't want netting in front of me when I'm watching a game. I think that's part of it. I can't get autographs as easily if there's netting there. I understand all of that. Safety has to come first. And as you said, that image of carrying a 6-year-old girl out of a major league stadium, we can't see that anymore. That optic is terrible. We never want that to happen again.
For a game that obviously wants to invite fans to be a part of the experience, it just can't happen.
Kevin, I cringe every night I go to a big league game when a ball goes flying into the stands at 100 miles an hour. It's as hard as a rock. It can hurt you. And the only way to protect our fans is to put up more netting.
Because I'm not telling you back in the 1920s and 30s that everyone was watching every moment of the game and had a great set of hands if a ball came into the stands. But I am telling you, the hitters today are bigger and stronger. And Tim, whether you like it or not, people are on their phones during the games and they're doing other things. You've got to do something to protect the fans, as they do here at Lamadi Stadium.
I applaud every team that has gone to extended netting. I hope they all extend netting for next season. I don't think it'll happen, but we just can't afford another injury. It's just such a terrible thing.
Well, it's been some tournament here for the man at bat right now, Andrew Moon. He was outstanding. We talked about it earlier in the game against Louisiana. He's got a single. He came around to score in the 3rd inning and an opportunity to drive home another one here in the 4th. Pop up and the play made by Del Frate. 4-1. Oregon leads after 4.
Thinking 6-4 to 3.
Visit littleleague.org/grow the game. Yes, Federico, you've told us about that catch you made in Williamsport 10 times before.
Foul. Coming short to you.
We said this yesterday, Tim, and the thought occurred to me when we saw players trading jerseys after the game yesterday, and even again today, the interactions that we've seen in the field. Where else would these kids from Bologna, Italy have a chance to interact with kids from Salem, Oregon, except at a tournament like this?
Oh. And that's kind of the point. They're going to grow culturally from this. They can, even though they don't speak the same language, they all have cell phones. They all know what social media is all about. They all understand how the world works because they're so worldly for 12-year-olds. So they get along just fine, I'm sure. You don't have to speak the same language to play ping pong. And that's the beauty of it.
There's Del Frate off the glove of McNally at first. Del Frate slides in safely.
It's a tricky play for a right-handed first baseman. Even though he's right on the line, the ball sneaks right over the bag. And a base hit.
Ball. Brings up David Lugli.
He loves to play airsoft, which we had to look up today what that was. Can you explain?
It's a form of paintball. And I'm assuming that by the name of airsoft, it's not the kind that leaves a mark, right? Like, you know, it's sort of a survival game, paintball. Daddy's a fan.
So typical of a 42 and a 62-year-old. We don't even know what it means.
Exactly. Right. Google, Siri, what is... And we've got A special runner coming into the game. Christian Zerlatti, again, he's the one who scored the lone run for Italy here, so he's got wheels. They got him on in scoring position here. Lugli gave the best answer of the entire Q&A session as he rips one foul. If you could travel anywhere, where would you travel to? His answer, Williamsport.
There you go. Well, I have a feeling when these kids are done with this tournament and they have to fill out one of those, where's the best place you've ever been, a bunch of them are going to say Williamsport.
Williamsport, Pennsylvania. As you see the team from Tokyo arriving here at Lamade Stadium. There's a grounder in between first and second. It's a base hit. Zerlatti thought about it for a minute, and then he was held up at third.
Well, nobody out. It's okay to stay there. Fly ball scores you. Score on a ground ball. Be safe than sorry. Nobody out.
He's the special runner that came into the game. He's got wheels, but they said, hang on, as Tim said, wait a minute, nobody out. Discretion is the better part of valor. And runners on the corners, and here we go, Tim. An opportunity for Italy to cut into this 4-1 lead. Good cut, swing and a miss by Tamburini.
Again, Federico's been part of a beautiful double play, made a terrific over-the-shoulder catch. Now he's got a chance to do some damage with the bat.
Ball.
Ugh.
Swing and a miss. Heads up play, ball gets away from Shortus at third, and the run comes in to score. Second run of the game for Italy. Second run of the game scored by Christian Zerlatti. That's an error on the catcher. It's ruled in a swing and a miss by Tamburini.
One out.
But for a team from Italy who had not scored coming into this game, second run of the game, and suddenly it's down to a two-run game.
Good.
And here is Tomato Metelli Grissetti.
His favorite player, Jacob deGrom. Good lesson on Jacob deGrom. He was a shortstop in college. One reason he's a great fielding pitcher. One reason he's a really good pitcher, because he's played multiple positions. Another lesson at this level. Play all over the field. See what you can do. See what you don't do so well. Playing the outfield will make you a better infielder if you play enough at all the positions.
There is no question. Metelli Grissetti goes down on strikes.
Ball.
And here now, Elia Zaccarini.
Nice job, coach. Ball one.
Dan Aykroyd, favorite actor.
Ball.
He lives in Italy. Where does that come from?
Well, so I'm trying to piece this together. His favorite movie is Blues Brothers, right? That's got to be mom or dad saying, son, sit down.
Foul.
Fouls one back almost into our...
Is that not great that a 12-year-old from Italy's favorite actor is Dan Aykroyd?
That is tremendous, is what that is.
Play.
Here's the 2-1 to Zach.
Ball.
Nice block in the dirt there.
Tim, we've talked so much about how great this event is. What's your favorite part about coming here? Shot to second. Moon can't make the play. Here comes the runner trying to score, and he does.
And really heads up base running, especially with 2 outs there. He says, let's go. They haven't fielded this ball cleanly. I'm going home. He scored from second on a ball that really never left the infield. He never even looked because he knew with 2 out, I'm going. He knew that ball was fumbled just a little bit. He said, I can make it home, and he did.
Lugli scores. We've got Claudio Duranza pinch hitting here, and now representing the go-ahead run. So your favorite part of this event is what?
Well, first off, the interaction between the big leaguers and the little leaguers. But in the end, this is all about the little leaguers. It's all about the fun that they have. But frankly, I just love to watch the games. I just love to see how advanced 12-year-olds are playing the hardest game in the world to play. And to be this good at some of the really skillful parts is what really does it for me.
Pass ball there, and now the tying run stands on second base.
Well, pitcher.
Claudio Duranza, the pinch hitter. Big Leonardo DiCaprio fan. Gavin Price, who got the start in this one, nearing the pitch limit. He's at 82. The max is 85. Duranza pops it up. Play made at second by Henry Moon. And the inning is over, but not before Italy scratches across 2 more runs. We got a game. It's 4-3. Let's take a look at the Honda game summary. Italy scoring its first 3 runs of this Little League World Series. And Gavin Price, sharp on the mound for the kids from Salem, Oregon. 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, and a run batted in. And that's where we are right now. 4-3, Oregon on top. Got a new pitcher in for Italy, David Lugli, who came around to score in the top half of the 5th inning. So the 12-year-old Lugli stepping in against the starting pitcher for the team from Salem, Gavin Price.
The guy Gavin Price would love to meet, David Blaine, our first magician on the list.
Very good. I'd like to meet David Blaine one day.
Ball.
I'm going to make some lasagna disappear at Franco's tonight, I can tell you that.
Bump. What are you laughing at over there?
No. Gus is in my ear saying, I need to take you out to the great food restaurants here in Williamsport. There's some great places. I'll be the tour guide, and you can pay.
So now, right, yesterday you were telling me about the free Chick-fil-A. That was the extent of the Kirkshin offer.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you show your media pass, you get free Chick-fil-A, which is great. So I'm going to go get about 13 sandwiches in the top of the 6th, just for me.
But I get the tab at Franco's tonight. I understand. I got you.
3-2.
Well, this town welcomes Little League Baseball in on an annual basis. Here's a shot down the right field line and foul off the bat of Price. But it's kind of carved into the mountainside here, right? It's as if someone dug in and said, this is where Little League Baseball is going to be played. And they've been playing it here for, what, 80 years?
It's tremendous. And this is a valley here, and this is the focal point right here. We're surrounded by mountains, and at the bottom is this beautiful field.
Oh, laser to third. Metelli Grassetti can't come up with it. That was a hard hit ball. And a base hit, Tim.
And I'm okay with that. This ball is hit right at him, but he's standing about 60 feet from home plate. He's got no time to react. I think that's a hit in Williamsport. I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with that, too.
Ball.
Here's Carson McNally stepping in.
And Kevin, speaking of this field, the Northwest team, the Oregon team, was just dazzled with how great this field is. And a couple of them told me it's really going to be hard to go back and play on the field that we're used to playing on because this is so immaculate. And one of the players said, and they fix it for you. Like, that, we don't have to do the field. They have groundskeepers here.
Really?
Not used to that.
I'm not sure.
Anywhere.
Right, minor league baseball may not be used to the level of groundskeepers that we have here in Williamsport. You talked about it yesterday, Tim. So many, in fact, I think all of the people working this tournament volunteers, right? Or many of them.
Right. People are volunteering. Umpires are volunteering. That's kind of the point of this whole thing.
Ball 4, your base.
As Carson McNally works a walk, we've got a full day of Little League Baseball here on ESPN. 3 Eastern, Curacao and Venezuela in an elimination game in the international bracket. And then 7:30 Eastern tonight, New Jersey and Rhode Island leading into baseball tonight, which leads into Major League Baseball. Yankees and A's, 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Da lontanissimo. Quanti di voi avrebbero firmato per essere 4-3 alle World Series? Ok? Perché dobbiamo giocare con la paura? 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 Giochiamo a baseball, andiamo!
Why are we playing with fear here, guys? This is the Little League World Series. Let's go, is what he said.
Love it.
By the way, while we have a minute, and we thank all the volunteers who make this event possible, I want to thank our statistician today, Mike Tuberosi. He's done a fabulous job for us the past 2 days. Our thanks to everyone at ESPN. This is my first event, right? So this is like an army coming into a town and setting up shop. It's more than just cameras. It's more than just running cables. It's an entire village that the team puts together. All of our production coordinators, everyone, all the way onto the top of the chain. It is an impressive thing to see, and it is a well-oiled machine.
And Williamsport makes it very easy to work here as far as security goes and making sure everyone needs to be where they are. Everything here is so easy to be done, and that makes our jobs so much easier.
Ball, too low.
And by the way, jobs in quotations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting paid to do this?
Not working this week, that's for sure. All right, Italy's in some trouble here. They need to throw a strike.
Ball.
Here's a 3-0 situation. A couple of the Northwest coaches were telling me, we let our kids swing 3-0, which again is a great idea. Swing first. Let's put it in play. Let's go.
Jacob Poto watches one for strike one.
Kevin, the plate discipline will come later as you get older to really determine we're going to lay off of that pitch. To be swinging freely now is a great idea.
Swinging freely on 3-1, and there is strike two.
Full count. 3-2.
Shot to first. Nice play by Chirinia to get the force at first. The tag not in time. But a real heads-up play by Chirinia.
Well, he knows he's right next to the bag. Let's get an out. But I loved it that they knew that's a tag play at second base there. The force is off once you tag first, and you got to tag that runner. Not everyone knows that rule. For the Italian kids to know that, that's pretty good.
Play. Oh.
Here's Spencer Short is fouling one back.
Pitcher.
You can see part of the fun here isn't just watching the baseball, it's the extracurricular activities like going down that hill.
Kevin, I'll give you some tips on how to get down the hill.
Ball.
I know a lot of people think they're good going down the hill, but nobody is better than I am going down that hill.
It's the stuff of legend at this point, and I want to point out, when we saw Anthony Rizzo, David Ross was with Anthony Rizzo and with Joe Madden. I thought that Rossi and Rizzo were both going to go down like surfing style.
First off, nobody's worse than me going down the hill. I was obviously kidding. Rossi did a terrible job going down the hill, and then he blamed the cardboard. Carpenter doesn't blame his tools. It's terrible.
High fly ball, shallow
Watch
right.
out.
Going back on it is Del Frate to make the play. And then he runs it back into the infield. Fundamentals, Tim.
Right. Well, that's the right fielder's ball there. But when that second baseman catches it and he's going backwards, you got to right yourself immediately because you can tag up and score on that. But he knew if I'm going to catch this going backwards, I got to get ready to throw as quickly as possible. And you see he does.
Ball.
Here's Brady Strinke stepping in with men on second and third. Bottom of the fifth inning, 4-3 game.
This would be a great escape for Italy if they can get out of this without a run and keep it a one-run game going to the last inning.
Well, we had the mound visit. The manager comes on out, speaks to his team, tells Lugli, what are we doing out here?
What are we afraid of?
Get it together. Message received.
Out.
Brady Strinke here, he's seen a couple of breaking balls, seen a couple fastballs. It's a 1-2 count. He's not sure what's coming here.
Good looking pitch by Lugli. What a comeback.
Curveball, outside corner, 1-2 pitch, not easy.
Big time comeback by Lugli. We'll see if they have another one in them. Down 4-3. Smooth sailing here so far today in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as we welcome you back to the Little League World Series on ESPN, presented by T-Mobile. We're in the top of the sixth inning here at Lamade Stadium. 4-3 game. And a new pitcher in the game. Gavin Price had hit the pitch limit. The starter today, so they turn things over to Carson McNally. 4 1/3 innings of shutout baseball here in Williamsport. He's going to try to close the door and get Oregon its first win.
And he can wiggle his ears, and he wants to be an orthodontist. I strongly suggest he doesn't wiggle his ears when he becomes an orthodontist.
Right. Doc, what are you doing? There's Alessio Ingrao, grounder to third, shortest to Hoda, and the first out of the inning.
Again, Kevin, we love this. People are putting the ball in play. We're swinging early. The game moves. Should have a little more of this, if I may, in the big leagues.
I am not going to argue with you on that. Manuel Metelli steps in. Italy down a run. They got 2 in the top of the fifth inning. They're trying to tie this one up. Metelli talked about the fact that it's amazing to be able to play baseball in an American stadium coming into this event. And there you go. We talked about the cooking prowess earlier. He's a cake baker.
2-1. Strike.
And as a closer, we need strikes here. Don't want to put the tying run on base.
Slow roller to third. Shortest comes in on it. Makes it look easy.
Kevin, that's beautiful. That's a big kid over at third to catch that ball on the run like that, throw across his body with something on it. Really impressive.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
In a big spot, in a big stadium, in a nationally televised game, Spencer Shortest making it look easy. The scoop and the throw to first. And so Italy down to its last out right now. Gabriel Chirina steps in.
Our switch hitter in this game also can throw with both hands, ambidextrous. Carson McNally, 5'10", big kid, but he's thinking now, I got to throw strikes, which he's doing a beautiful job of. Put it in play, let the defense take care of things.
Giannini was asked who his favorite player is, who he'd most like to meet. The answer to both, Anthony Rizzo, and he had that chance.
How about that? Anthony Rizzo does not speak Italian, he told me, but now he says after interacting with the Italian kids, he said, I'm going to go start working on it.
2-2 pitch.
Outside.
Doesn't quite bend in. Giannini, the good eye, and he's keeping things alive for Italy.
2-2 breaking ball from a 12-year-old.
Swing and a miss, and Carson McNally, the strikeout to end it. Really well played game, really competitive game, really good finish to the consolation game here today between Salem, Oregon and Bologna, Italy.
And the Oregon team is going to fly to Portland on Sunday, and they're going to go home saying we won our final game at Williamsport. And that Italian team is going to fly home saying we put up a good fight, we scored some runs, we got some hits, but mostly we had a great time. And Kevin, this is one of the best parts, of course, at Williamsport, is after the game, the sportsmanship is the way it should be, especially for 12-year-olds. We meet and shake hands. And they go take a team picture on the mound. They put each other's hats on. It's the way it's supposed to be here.
The spirit of competition is alive and well here in Williamsport. And there's obviously much more to it than just wins and losses. And we've seen it all week long, past 2 weeks. All of these teams with the experience of a lifetime.